want to have a word with people who think that all men suck. Because unfortunately, this is a narrative that I hear so much now. It's like there's this certain brand of feminism or even other men who just lack a healthy masculine embodiment model, maybe in their life, that has allowed them to sustain this belief system, as well as a lot of women I know have been hurt by men, have been abused by men, have been all of these things. And I understand the hurt and the frustration, but it is unfair to create blanket statements and have this overarching theme that men are incompetent, or that they're all predators, or that they're all controlling, or all of these different narratives that people have around men, and it's simply just not being true. Good men exist, but you have to believe that they're actually out there. And when I say out there, I mean that they are an external representation of that belief system in your system. So it all starts with you. It's not going to exist to you unless you are creating the conditions for that to arise in your 3D reality. It isn't something that you look out and you see there's no good men, because we are consistently creating our reality. And yes, there's a collective consciousness, and there's a lot of wounded and distorted masculine in that. But there are also really divine masculine figures who are doing amazing things in the world, who are embodying masculine traits that our world is starving for, that want to protect and provide the sacred feminine, that care about our earth, that care about you, your emotions, your feelings, men who are tapped in, men who are whole and balanced. These men exist, but you aren't going to find them if you are constantly shaming men. If you are constantly talking about the negatives of your partner, of your boyfriend, of your father, all of these stemming from a masculine wounding, you have the option to create a better world for yourself that's reflective of a more loving inner state. But you have to understand that that's what you're doing. You're creating it. It isn't just an observable phenomenon. That becomes the case after you already have this belief system within you. I know a million amazing men now, after doing so much work in myself around trauma with the masculine, and around trusting again, around leaning back into my feminine and learning how to receive. So many problems that I would see were actually just reflections of me. I can see when I was in relationships with wounded men and they were in some inverted template where they wanted me to lead and I was more in my masculine, because I was lacking that. I became that because I didn't even have that. And then consciously, we have to realize when we're coming from a wounded place, when our reality becomes dysfunctional, and you realize there's a better way out there. So if you have these beliefs about men, really sit with yourself and hear the thoughts come in. If you have negative thoughts about men, or if someone makes a comment and it's just like, oh, of course it's a man. There are seriously a lot of you who need to hear that there are good men, because you will never find one if you do not believe that they exist first. And I'm telling you this with so much love, because the feeling of being in your natural essence and being seen and loved and held and cherished and provided for by a man with so much love is so fulfilling. Sorry, I don't know what's happening in this bush over here. But I would love for everyone to experience this type of love, this type of union. And I don't want your own hardened hearts to keep you in the way of receiving what is meant for you. So yes, I'm so sorry if your heart was hurt in the past and that your parental figures or whoever raised you wasn't able to show up in the way that you would have liked them to. It is still up to you to release that pain, to feel it fully, Understand that they did the best that they could and rewire your system to a more loving and open stance that allows you to create a better reality for yourself. It takes a lot to rewire when you've been hyper independent or when you've seen case after case of people letting you down. I understand that. But your faith is asking you to trust, regardless of what you've seen, knowing your power is in your own heart and your own ability to create a reality for yourself that feels good, that feels loving. And I believe in you so much to do this. And this is why I want to share this message with you, because it is super powerful in creating a world of union and unity, that we learn to come together and that we appreciate the opposite sex for their strong suits. And this isn't even necessarily like a binary experience. You can be whatever gender and experience these masculine and feminine energies. So if you have this masculine wounding and you have a problem with men in general, you're probably going to have a problem with your masculine side, because this is all existing within us as a system, within us as us, that gets shown to us in the external world as manifestations of the belief systems that we already hold inside of us. So you can either allow yourself to be controlled by these past patterns, past traumas, and things that you've observed and now have taken to be truth, or you can understand your power in fully creating a new reality for yourself here and now. You always have the option available. I could continue talking about this for so much longer, but I think I'll keep it here for now. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 or any questions that you have about things that I've brought up, or even if you object to something. I'm down to hear it and have this conversation, but all I know is once I consciously chose to change my relationship to the masculine, to men, start respecting them, start seeing them for what they actually want to give, who they actually are, and not expecting them to be women, to be just like me, everything in my world has changed. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me.